U.S. Embassy position on the elections results, and till date, we've not seen a recognition statement from the U.S. Embassy of the president-elect. Does that position still stand?
The United States is concerned about irregularities in the results that were announced by the ECSL. That includes a big difference between the ECSL announced results and the parallel vote tabulation, as well as inconsistencies that were analyzed by domestic and international observers. All of these things raise questions in our mind, not just in the United States, but really all over the world, about the integrity of the official results. And so we have asked for an investigation conducted by an independent outside source to look at the results of the elections here in Sierra Leone. In addition, we've also called on dialogue between the two parties, between all parties really, to see how we can, or how Sierra Leoneans can move forward from this towards the next election in 2028. As well, you've seen we have called on the APC not to boycott participation in the government. I put out a tweet on that, and that was probably the most controversial thing that I've done since I've been here. I got the most reaction, positive and negative, but we feel that in order for there to be a democracy, you have to have two parties. Both parties have to participate. Particularly, we have to think about the people who voted for the APC. Their voices need to be heard. And so that's why we have pushed the APC as well to participate in the government.
Highlighting the issue of transparency in the process, and you are yet to recognize the president. What do you think is the way forward in terms of the U.S. and Australian relationship?
President Bio is the president of Sierra Leone, so it's not we're saying he's not president. What we have not done is congratulate him.
It's about the relationship. What would happen to the relationship between Sierra Leone and the U.S.?
Sir, moving forward, what we're doing is we're sort of doing a review of all of our programs, all of our government-to-government programs. What's not going to change is the work that we're doing with the people of Sierra Leone. It's really our focus here is on the people of Sierra Leone. So that the health programs that I mentioned before, we're going to continue with all of them. We may even expand some of our health programming. We're going to really focus on, helping people, helping their lives improve. We will continue to be there no matter what for the people of Sierra Leone.
Calling on dialogue, we've seen the president setting up an electoral reform group headed by the vice president. What does the U.S. Embassy make up of this body set up by the president, headed by the vice president, to look at or look into happenings of the 2023 elections?
What we have called for is an independent look at what happened, an independent outside look at the 2023 elections. Any commission that's headed up by one of the political candidates in the election cannot be independent or non-biased. That's just the way it's going to be. The vice president, I know the vice president, I have a lot of respect for him. I respect his integrity. But because he was one of the candidates, we don't see that as the proper means to take a look at what happened in the past and what will happen moving forward.
If you talk to government officials, they will tell you that the process will be credible.
As I said, it's just not possible for someone who was a candidate in the election to then look at the process and be not biased.
Are you doubting the credibility of the process?
I said, we have raised questions about the integrity and the credibility of the results. So we're clear on that. In order to look at that, you need to have someone who is outside of the process, who is not part of the process. That's what we're saying.
Will the incoming U.S. ambassador continue with the U.S. position on Sierra Leone's just concluded election?
Yes, the U.S. position is the U.S. position. It's not based on an individual. Certainly when the new ambassador comes here, he'll have his own style, he'll have his own way of doing things, but it's the position of the United States government government, not of one individual in the government.
And one of the development programs that the government of Sierra Leone was looking forward to was the MCC Compaq. And this is based on several factors. Does this election in any way affect the Compaq?
Yes, it does. So in the year or two preceding the Compaq, we were very clear with the government of Sierra Leone that in order to get a Compaq, they needed to have a fair, free, open and transparent election. Sierra Leone had done everything else up to that point to get a Compaq. They passed all of the scorecards. In some areas they did very well. But we said the one remaining thing would be a fair and free election. Given the fact that there are all sorts of questions about the results, we're taking a look, as I said, we're taking a look at everything, and that includes the MCC Compaq.
Now, confirming that the outcome of this election will affect the Compaq, someone listening to you would like to know how would it affect the Compaq? Because after the election, there were several rumors that the U.S. government has cancelled the Compaq development program in Sierra Leone. Is that the case?
It's not been cancelled outright, but what we're doing is we're slowing down. We're taking a pause. We're going to see what the government of Sierra Leone does next before we move forward with the Compaq.
What are these things that you expect to see Sierra Leone government do before you move on with the Compaq?
Sure. We have communicated to the government basically what I said before. We'd like to see an outside independent look of the election, and then we'd also like to see the government be open to a dialogue with civil society, political parties, everybody moving forward.
You've laid emphasis on this independent body to look into the elections. Where do you expect these bodies to come from?
I think the preference would probably be to be outside of Sierra Leone, because inside of Sierra Leone, it's so polarized. And when I say someone independent, I mean not only someone in the government or the SLPP, but also it shouldn't be an APC partisan. It shouldn't lead the investigation. It should be someone completely divorced who does not have family ties or ethnic ties or political ties to the government or to the opposition.
Quickly, let's look at the economy over the past 2 years. What do you make up of government activities with regards to the economy?
It's been a tough couple of years for the economy in Sierra Leone, and a lot of it is not the government's fault. There have been shocks to the system, due in part to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Has triggered a lot of supply chain problems as well as inflation. My country has suffered from inflation as well. I mean,